Listen to me, yeah. They knocked you down, didn't they? They said you weren't enough. They laughed when you failed. They counted you out. But guess what? Being knocked down at the end, it's the beginning of something powerful. You know why? Because the ground is where champions are born. You don't learn strength by winning. You learn strength when you're on the floor, facing the dirt and pain in your chest, and you still find a way to rise. You get up not because it's easy, but because something inside of you refuses to stay down. Yeah, they knocked you down. Knocked you down. But what they didn't know is that every time you fall, you get stronger. Every no makes your yes more powerful. Every door slammed in your face makes you knock harder. Every failure is just a setup for the comeback. So let them doubt you. Let them count you out. But while they're sleeping, while they're talking, you're grinding, you're working, and you're rising. Champions don't stay down. Champions rise. They say falling is failure. Society, school, even friend. Somewhere along the way, you've been taught that if you fall, you lose. That if you make a mistake, you're broken. That if you don't succeed the first time, you're not cut out for it. But I need you to hear this. Falling is not failure. Staying down is. The moment you let that truth into your soul, everything changes. See, everybody falls. Everybody. The people you admire, the legends you study, the heroes you quote, they all fail. They weren't born at the top. They didn't wake up one morning and arrive at greatness. No, they stumbled. They made mistakes. They were doubted. They were knocked flat on their backs. But what separated them from the rest wasn't perfection. It was persistent. They refused to stay down. When you fall, it's uncomfortable. It's humiliating. Your pride takes a hit. Your confidence takes a hit. You feel exposed, vulnerable. And the temptation is to stay there, to curl up in the pain, to build excuses in that dark place. But you have to realize the fall is part of the process. It's the evidence that you're pushing, that you're daring, that you're trying something greater than what you were yesterday. Too many people confuse the moment of failure with being a failure. Let me say that again. Failing is something the same as being a failure. You are not your setback. You are not your mistake. You are not your lowest moment. That was an experience, not your identity. What you do next, that's what defines you. There are people out there who never fall. You know why? Because they never tried. They stay in their comfort zone. They avoid risk. They live inside a box where everything is safe and predictable. But that's not life. That's a slow death. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth happens in challenge. Growth happens in the struggle. Growth happens in the fall. Now, I'm not telling you to seek out pain for the sake of pain, but I am telling you that when you chase big dreams, when you step into your purpose, you will fall. And that's okay. That's how you know you're moving forward. Like a baby learning to walk. They fall 100 times, but do they stay down? No, they don't even think about quitting. They just get back up and try again. Why? Because something inside them knows they're built to rise. But as we grow older, we stop thinking like that. We fall once and we start questioning everything. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe this wasn't meant for me. Maybe I should quit. Maybe they were right about me. That's the voice of fear. That's the voice of limitation. That's the voice of defeat. And you have to shut it down. Because the truth is, falling is feedback, not finality. It's telling you what to improve, how to grow, where to shift. But only if you're willing to get back up and keep moving. Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Steve Jobs was fired from the company he started. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before the light bulb worked. But none of that mattered because they didn't stay down. They used their falls as fuel. They used their pain as power. You have to do the same. You have to look your fall in the face and say, I'm not done. You have to tell your failure, you don't get to define me. Because when you rise, when you pull yourself off the floor, when you wipe the tears from your eyes, when you take one more step, you are rewriting the story. You are taking back the pen. Understand something else. Falling builds strength. Every time you get up, your resilience grows. Your mindset sharpens. Your grit deepens. Staying down atrophies your spirit, but rising again and again trains it. You learn to stand taller. You begin to trust your ability to bounce back. And over time, that becomes a superpower. The world respects the comeback more than the comfort. People connect with your struggle more than your perfection because we've all been down before. We've all hit the floor, sometimes harder than we thought we could survive. But when someone rises anyway, when someone keeps going, not because it's easy, but because they refuse to quit, it sparks something in all of us. It reminds us that we're capable too. So let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them doubt. They only see the fall. They don't see the fire. They don't see the fire inside of you. They don't know the strength you built in silence. They don't know the nights you cried but didn't quit. They don't know how heavy the burden was. But you still carried it. That's the real story. You're going to fall again. That's the reality. Life's not a straight line. It's a series of rises and falls, wins and losses. But the great ones, they keep getting up. They walk into the ring every time, even when they've been knocked out before. Because they know the only way to lose for good is to stay down. So today I challenge you. Think about what knocked you down. Think about the moment you felt like giving up. And now ask yourself, did that moment break me or build me? Because if you're still breathing, if you still want more, then it didn't break you. It revealed you. It showed you your fight. And that fight, that's your edge. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you a threat to mediocrity. That's what makes you unstoppable. You're not the fall. You're the rise after. You're not the defeat. You're the comeback. As long as you never stay down, you will never be defeated. So no matter how hard it hits, no matter how long you've been down, get up. Stand tall. Walk again. Run again. Dream again. Because falling isn't failure, quitting. Pain is the price of growth. That's the truth nobody wants to hear. But it's the truth everyone needs. We live in a world where everything is about comfort, instant gratification, quick wins, easy success. But real growth doesn't come wrapped in comfort. It comes through pain, through sacrifice, through struggle. The people who grow the most are the ones who endure the most. Pain is a teacher you never asked for but desperately needed. It's not soft. It's not kind. It doesn't come in with a smile and gentle words. Pain comes in hard. Pain shows up when you least expect it, and it shakes everything inside you. But if you let it do its work, if you don't run from it, pain will stretch you. It will mold you. It will take you places that comfort never could. Think about it. When do you grow the most? When everything is going smooth? When there's no resistance? No. You grow when life punches you in the gut and you have to figure out how to breathe again. You grow when your plans fall apart and you're forced to find a new path. You grow when you're tired, but you keep going. When you're afraid, but you take the leap anyway. When you're hurting, but you don't give up. Growth and pain go hand in hand. You can't separate them. You can't ask for growth and hope to avoid pain. That's like asking for muscles without lifting weights. You want strength? Then you better get used to pressure. You better get used to soreness. You better get used to breaking past your limits because that's where strength is built. Emotional pain is the same. You go through heartbreak, betrayal, disappointment. Those moments cut deep. They hurt in ways you can't explain. But if you take the lesson, if you don't let it make you bitter, that pain will evolve into wisdom, into clarity, into depth. Pain gives you perspective. It humbles you. It reminds you that you're human, but it also reminds you that you're capable of enduring more than you think. People try to avoid pain by staying small. They don't chase big dreams because they're afraid of failure. They don't open up because they're afraid of rejection. They don't take chances because they're afraid of losing. And in doing so, they trade growth for comfort. They choose safety over purpose. But what they don't realize is that the pain of regret is far heavier than the pain of growth. You've got to learn to embrace discomfort, not because you love pain, but because you love what pain produces. It produces toughness. It produces confidence. It produces identity. When you go through pain and you survive, when you come out on the other side stronger than before, you start to see who you really are. You don't just read about resilience, you become it. You don't just talk about courage, you walk in it. Think about the caterpillar. It has to go into the cocoon, dark, tight, uncomfortable. It breaks itself down, goes through a painful transformation. But that's the only way it becomes a butterfly. There's no shortcut. There's no easy way out. That's nature showing us the process. If you want wings, you gotta go through the cocoon. The same applies to you. You wanna elevate your life? You wanna level up? Then stop avoiding pain. Stop running from every uncomfortable situation. Stop quitting when it hurts. Start seeing pain as your ally, not your enemy. Because every time you endure pain with purpose, you grow. Every time you push through the storm, you evolve. You're going to face obstacles. You're going to lose people. You're going to get knocked down. But what's going to define you is not the pain. It's how you respond to it. Do you let it break you? Do you let it build you? Do you let it stop you? Or do you let it stretch you? That's the choice you have to make. Some of the most powerful, grounded, wise people you'll ever meet, do you know how they got that way? Through pain. They lost things. They suffered losses. They walked through valleys, but they didn't run. They didn't numb me. They didn't pretend it didn't hurt. They sat with the pain. They learned from it, and they let it make them better. Pain forces you to grow in areas where you've been stagnant. It shows you your blind spots. It reveals your weaknesses so you can work on them. It teaches you patience, empathy, discipline. Refines your character. It gives you a story to tell, a message to share. Some of the greatest leaders, artists, teachers, and innovators were born from the depths of pain because pain has a way of unlocking your true potential. Don't waste your pain. So don't waste your pain. Don't just cry, learn. Don't just suffer, transform. Don't just go through it, grow through it. Ask yourself, oh, what is this pain trying to teach me? What part of me needs to be reshaped? What belief needs to be challenged? What strength needs to be built? And listen, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel broken for a moment. That's not weakness, that's honesty. But after the tear, get back up. After the heartbreak, keep believing. After the loss, keep moving forward. Because there's purpose in your pain, there is power in your perseverance, and there is victory on the other side. If you just keep going, every time you endure pain and keep moving, you build momentum. And that momentum is unstoppable. Suddenly, the things that used to break you don't faze you anymore. The fears that used to paralyze you lose their grip. Yeah. The pain that once made you question your worth now becomes your platform. You become unshakable, not because you never felt pain, but because you learned how to use it. Because you chose growth over comfort. Because you looked pain in the face and said, you won't break me, you'll make me, you'll make me. Yeah. And when you live like that, there's nothing that can stop you. So the next time pain comes, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? Don't beg for it to end. Ask what it's building, because you're not being punished. You're being prepared, you're not being bare, you're being planted. And when the growth starts to show, when the fruit begins to come, everyone will see that the pain had a purpose all along. Pain is the price of growth, and the price is worth it. They will laugh at you. They'll point finger. They'll talk behind your back. Some might do it open. Others will do it in whispers, and you'll feel it. Not just in your ears, but in your chest, in your gut, in the part of your heart that still remembers being overlooked, out in mine. But here's the thing. Their laughter is not a reflection of your worth. It's a mirror of their own fears. Because when people see someone daring to rise, daring to be different, daring to chase a dream that they themselves never had the courage to pursue, they laugh. They laugh because it's easier than admitting they've up. They laugh because your effort reminds them of the work they avoided. Your vision exposes their lack of purpose. Your ambition highlights their complacency. It's not really about you represent. You are proof that more is possible. And for some people, that's uncomfortable. You'll feel that heat when you try to start something new. You'll feel that silence when your circle no longer claps. Some will say you changed. Some will roll their eyes when you talk about goals, when you say no to wasting time. When you choose discipline over distraction, they'll say you're doing too much, that you're not being realistic, that you should just settle down, be satisfied, stop dreaming so big. They'll tell you that you're chasing illusions, that people like you don't make it. That success is for the lucky, for the connected, for the privileged. They'll say anything to keep you on the ground because your rise makes them question their own stagnation. But you can't let their laughter define your limits. You've got to get to a point where their words become noise, background static. You hear it, but it doesn't shake you. It doesn't steer you. It doesn't stop you. Because your vision has to be louder than their mockery. Your purpose has to be stronger than their punchlines. Your hunger has to be deeper than their doubt. Most people who changed the world were laughed at before they were celebrated. The ones who started movements, who built empires, who transformed lives, they were called crazy, arrogant, naive. People said their dreams were impossible, their methods foolish, their timing wrong. And yet they kept building, kept believing, kept moving. And one day the world stopped laughing. That's what you have to remember. It's not your job to convince everyone. It's not your responsibility to make them believe. Your only job is to do the work. Day in, day out, quietly, relentlessly. Let them laugh while you focus. Let them doubt while you grind. Let them talk while you act. Because eventually your results will silence the noise. There's a power in being underestimated. It's a hidden fuel. It sharpens your edge. It builds a fire in you that's hard to extinguish. When no one believes in you, you learn to believe in yourself. When no one backs you, you learn to stand alone. And when people try to define your limits, you get the chance to redefine your identity. They think they're laughing at your failure, but what they don't realize is that you're still standing, still trying, still showing up. And that alone makes you stronger than most. Because the easiest thing in the world is to join the crowd of critics. The hardest thing is to keep going when no one claps. But that's where greatness is formed, in the silence, in the solitude, in the storm. You gotta protect your mindset like your life depends on it, because it does. You can't allow their jokes to become your truth. You can't let their disbelief take root in your spirit. The moment you start doubting yourself because of someone else's opinion, you lose twice. You lose their respect, and worse, you lose your own. You are not here to entertain. You are here to elevate. You are not here to fit in. You're here to stand out. Your calling is not up for debate. Your dreams were not designed to be comfortable for others. If they don't understand your path, that's okay. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you. You saw it. You felt it. You carry it. So carry it with pride, with conviction, with faith. Because your journey is not for them to understand. It's for you to fulfill. And one day, when you've built the thing they said was impossible, when you become the person they laughed at for even trying, they'll have no choice but to sit in silence. Their laughter will turn into curiosity, their mockery into admiration. But by then, it won't matter, because you weren't doing it for them in the first place. You were doing it because you knew you were made for more, because you had a vision no one else could see, because you were tired of living small to make others comfortable, and because you decided that the pain of being laughed at was worth enduring if it meant becoming who you were destined to be. The truth is, people only laugh when they don't understand, when they're afraid of what's different, when they feel threatened. So if they're laughing at you, maybe you're on to something. Maybe you're waking something up. Maybe your light is starting to shine a little too bright, and it's making them uncomfortable. But that's okay. Don't dim it. Don't shrink. Don't apologize for showing up fully. Because the world doesn't need more people playing small. It needs more people like you, bold enough to dream, brave enough to try, strong enough to keep going even when everyone is watching and waiting for you to fall. So let them laugh, let them whisper, let them doubt, and then prove them all wrong. Not with your words, but with your work. Not with your ego, but with your effort. Not with revenge, but with results. Because at the end of the day, their laughter won't matter. Their opinions won't matter. The only thing that will matter is that you didn't give up, that you kept believing, that you stood tall, even when your knees shook, that you walked forward, even when the path was lonely, and that you became everything they say you never could. That is the greatest comeback. Not the one where you shout back, but the one where you rise back, where you show them not through noise, but through excellence, where your life becomes the answer to every doubt, every laugh, every word spoken against you. So keep building, keep believing, keep becoming, because one day the same people who laugh will watch. You have to decide how bad you want it. No one else can decide that for you. Not your friends, not your family, not your mentors, not your critics, you, only you. Because at some point, this whole journey, this climb from where you are to where you want to be, comes down to how deep your desire runs. Not surface level want, not wishful thinking, real hunger, real fire, the kind of want that keeps you up at night and wakes you up early, the kind of want that makes quitting feel like dying slowly, the kind of want that demands everything and offers nothing guaranteed in return. Wanting it bad means you're willing to show up when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when the applause stops, when the support fades, when it feels like no one sees you grinding. It means you're willing to sacrifice comfort, distractions, temporary pleasure. You're willing to look foolish for a season if it means walking into your purpose for a lifetime. You're willing to be misunderstood. You're willing to walk alone, eat alone, train alone, study alone, fail alone, because the dream was never given to a committee. It was given to you. So how bad do you want it? Because life will test you. Life will put obstacles in your way, not to destroy you, but to measure your commitment. Challenges are not there to stop you. They're there to separate the ones who want it from the ones who want it no matter what. And that's the thing. Everybody wants to be great until it's time to do what greatness requires. Everyone wants the prize, but few are willing to pay the price. The price is discipline. The price is sacrifice. The price is consistency without applause. The price is doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. That's how you build mental toughness. That's how you train your spirit. That's how you rise. The truth is, you don't get what you wish for. You get what you work for. You don't get what you post about. You get what you stay committed to when no one's watching. Wanting it bad means you stop negotiating with laziness. You stop justifying your excuses. You stop lying to yourself about you tomorrow. You want it now. You move now. You act now. And there will be moments when doubt creeps in. Moments when you wonder if it's worth it. Moments when you feel like you've given everything and got nothing in return. But that's when you remind yourself why you started. That's when you go back to that moment. The moment you saw the vision, the moment your heart caught fire. You reconnect with that feeling and you let it carry you forward. Wanting it bad also means being willing to start over, to rebuild, to keep trying over, to rebuild, to keep trying even after failure. It means humility. It means swallowing your pride, learning from your mistakes, and getting back up again and again. It means trusting the process when the progress seems invisible. It means believing that every rep, every step, every small move forward is building something greater than what the eye can see. You want to be successful? Then be willing to work when others are sleeping. Be willing to grow while others stay stagnant. Be willing to invest in yourself when others spend their time on distractions. Be willing to push yourself to new limits, not for applause, but for purpose. Because greatness doesn't shout. Greatness whispers, 'tis silence. It shows up in consistency. It shows up in integrity. It shows up in how you carry yourself when no one's watching. There's a reason most people never make it. It's not because they're not talented, not because they're not talented. It's not because they don't have potential. It's because they don't want it bad enough. They want it until it gets uncomfortable. They want it until it requires change, until it demands long nights, early morning, missed parties, missed sleep, until it demands resilience. But if you want it bad enough, none of that will matter, because what you're building will be greater than what you're missing. The pain will become purpose. The sacrifice will become strength. And every setback will become part of your story, a story that speaks not just to what you achieved, but to who you became in the process. When you want it bad, you stop blaming others. You stop looking for shortcuts. You stop looking for permission. You take ownership. You take full responsibility for your growth, for your journey, for your choices. You look in the mirror and you say, it's on me. No one's coming to save me. I have to be the hero of my story. Wanting it bad also means protecting your energy. It means saying no to negativity. It means cutting off things and people who drain your focus. It means aligning your environment with your goals. Because when you truly want it, you guard your attention like your future depends on it. Because it does. It's not just about hard work. It's about hard work. It's about doing the inner work, facing your fears, overcoming your insecurities, confronting your weaknesses. Because your external world is always a reflection of your internal world. And when you want it bad, you stop running from the hard parts. You face them. You grow through them. You've got to become obsessed with growth, obsessed with progress, obsessed with getting better every single day, not for validation, but for transformation. You've got to love the process more than the praise. You've got to be so locked in that distractions lose their power over you. You got to be so focused that even failure starts to fear you. You have to want it more than you want sleep, more than you want validation, more than you want to be liked. Because this journey requires tunnel vision. It requires grit. It requires that you push when your body says stop, that you rise when everything in you wants to lie down, that you speak life over yourself when the world goes silent. At the end of the day, you can have excuses or you can have results, but you can't both. You can have comfort or you can have growth, but not both. You can keep playing it safe or you can take the risk to everything you ever dreamed of. So ask yourself right now, how bad do you want it? Not if it's convenient. Not if I don't have to give up too much. How bad do you really want it? Are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to stay the course even when it hurts? Are you willing to be the last one grinding when everyone else has tapped out? Because if you are, nothing can stop you. Not failure, not doubt, not haters, not fear. When your desire is deep enough, your discipline will follow. Your purpose will push you. Your vision will pull you. And every day you'll take one step closer. Not because it's easy, but because it's worth it. So decide. Lock in, commit with everything you've got. Because if you want it bad enough, you'll either find a way or you'll create one. There will always be people who don't believe in you. They'll tell you your dreams are too big. Your goals are unrealistic. Your ideas are foolish. They'll question your ability, your qualifications, your background, your worth. They'll say you can't, you won't, you never will. Sometimes they'll say it outright. Sometimes they'll say it with their silence, with their doubt-filled eyes, with their absence when you need support. And the truth is, you can't control that. You can't control who believes in you or who chooses not to. But what you can control is what you do with that doubt. You can let it define you, or you can let it drive you. You can shrink because of it, or you can rise in spite of it. Some of the most successful people in the world were once doubted, laughed at, underestimated. They were told to no, they were rejected, they were passed over, but they didn't fold. They didn't quit. They used that doubt as fuel. They let every dismissal, every insult, every eye roll light a fire within them that no one could put out. Because they knew something no one else knew. They believed in themselves, and they saw something in the mirror that others couldn't see. They knew what they were capable of. They understood that belief in self is the foundation of any great achievement. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You don't need a crowd. You don't need a cheerleading squad. What you need is one person, you. You need to believe so fiercely in your dream that no amount of doubt can shake it loose. You need to be your own motivation, your own push, your own reason. Because if you don't believe in yourself, how can anyone else? Every time someone doubts you, it's an opportunity. It's a chance to prove them wrong. Not out of anger, not out of ego, but out of purpose. It's a chance to let your results speak louder than their words, because results silence doubt. Results make believers out of skeptics. And when you stay committed, stay focused, and keep moving forward, eventually the same people who doubted you will be the ones asking how you did it. But that only happens if you don't let their doubt become your truth. See, the danger isn't that people don't believe in you. The danger is when you start to agree with them, when you start to internalize their voices, when their you can't becomes your maybe I can. That's when dreams deed, not because they were impossible, but because they were abandoned. You have to be stronger than the noise. You have to be so committed to your vision that other people's opinions become irrelevant. That doesn't mean you become arrogant. It means you become anchored. It means your self-worth isn't up for public debate. It means you stop waiting for approval and start walking in purpose. And let's be real. People doubt what they don't understand. People criticize what they fear. People mock what they secretly admire but can't see themselves doing. Sometimes their doubt isn't about you at all. It's a reflection of their own limitation, their own failure, their own fear. Don't make the mistake of letting someone else's limitation become the ceiling to your potential. When you're chasing something great, the road is lonely. There will be seasons when no one claps, no one notices, no one believes. That's when you learn to clap for yourself. That's when you learn to validate your own grind. That's when you find out who you are. Are you in it for recognition, or are you in it for transformation? Are you doing it to prove them wrong, or are you doing it to prove yourself right? Every time someone tells you it's impossible, remember that impossible is just someone's opinion. History is full of people who shattered that word, who went further than anyone expected, who broke records, broke barriers, broke cycles, not because they had more talent, but because they had more belief, more heart, more resilience. You got to decide, will you listen to the noise, or will you listen to that small, still voice inside you that keeps saying, I keep going? Will you let doubt distract you, or will you let it drive you? Will you let it drive you? Will you break, or will you break through? There's power in being doubted. There's power in being the underdog. Because when no one expects anything from you, everything you achieve is that much more impactful. When the odds are against you and you win anyway, that's legacy. That's proof that belief is stronger than circumstance. Let them doubt you. Let them talk. Let them watch. Because while they're talking, you're working. While they're doubting, you're building. While they're sleeping, you're grinding. And one day they'll look up and realize you didn't need their permission. You just needed your purpose. Understand this. Greatness was never built on comfort. It was built on resilience, on the refusal to give in, on the fire that burns brighter the more it's tested. So if you're being doubted, good. That means you're on to something. That means you're doing something that matters. That means you're stepping outside the norm. And when you finally get there, when the work pays off, when the vision becomes reality, you won't need to say a word. Your life will speak for itself. Your results will echo louder than any criticism ever could. You won't just prove them wrong. You'll prove that belief in yourself is the most powerful force in the world. So don't wait for belief. Don't ask for validation. Validate yourself. Don't run from the doubt. Rise above it. Stand tall in the face of it. Use it. Let it sharpen you. Let it focus you. Let it remind you that you're not like everyone else and you're not here to live a small life. They said you could. You will. They said you won't. You are. They said you won't. You are. Watch you. But because when you believe in yourself, truly believe there's no limit. Not to what you can achieve, not to who you can become, not to the impact you can make. So let them doubt. Let them laugh. Let them underestimate. You just keep moving, keep growing, keep showing up. And when the time comes, they'll see the truth, not because you shouted it, but because you lived it. You don't have to talk big when your life is the loudest statement in the room. Keep building, keep believing. You were never meant to fit in. You were born to stand out. Every journey, no matter how long or painful, leads to a destination that becomes worth it when you refuse to give up. When they knocked you down, when the world seemed to close every door, when the voices around you echoed with doubt and disbelief, you had a choice. You could have stayed down, accepted defeat, made your peace with mediocrity, but you did. You stood up. You wiped the blood off your face, the sweat from your brow, and you looked forward. That's what warriors do. That's what believers do. That's what the chosen do. They don't crumble under pressure. They rise through it. They don't seek permission. They create their own path. And every scar they carry becomes a symbol of strength, not shame. You see, life isn't about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you rise stronger. You're not here by accident. You're not fighting for no reason. There's a calling on your life that can't be silenced by failure, by fear, or by the disbelief of others. It can only be silenced if you stop believing it, but you haven't stopped. Even when the nights were long, even when no one saw you grinding, even when the applause was absent and your only audience was the quiet voice in your soul telling you to keep going, you didn't stop. And that's what separates the average from the great. That's what defines legacy, not talent. Not luck, but relentless effort backed by unshakable belief. So now you stand at the edge of what's possible. You've been through the fire and you've come out forged, not burned. You battled self-doubt, rejection, setbacks, and you're still here, still pushing, still dreaming. That's power. That's purpose. That's resilience. You've learned that belief doesn't come from applause, but from alignment. Alignment with your purpose, with your mission, with the version of you that knows this world hasn't seen the best of you yet. You've learned that doubt isn't the enemy, it's the fuel. And every time someone told you can't, it only made you more certain that you will. You already proven you're capable. You've already proven you're more than their opinion. And now your mission is to finish strong, to keep showing up, to outlast the obstacles, to outrun the whispers of doubt. Because it's not over yet. Your story is still being written. The best chapters are still ahead. And every step you take forward is a step that inspires someone else to rise too. You are proof that being knocked down is not the end. It's the beginning of your rise, the beginning of your impact, the beginning of your legacy. So walk bold, speak truth, live with fire. Let your life be the evidence that belief, discipline, and relentless hustle beat doubt every single time. And when they ask you how you did it, when they finally see what you built, when they finally realize the power you carried all along, you won't need to explain a thing, because your life will be the answer. You got knocked down, but you got back up. and you rose like a giant. Ja, you rose like you were born for it.